What's up, everybody? Billy here again, and today I'm going to be covering the daily watch list. So today we had on our daily watch list, we had ZM, AMD, BA, Roblox, CLF, Facebook, and Roku. If you'd like to access on how to actually read and how to play these watch lists, just click this link and it'll take you to a really cool note that I end up covering. But let's get into this watch list review. Oh, and also, post tons of text reviews too, so if you want to see these, just scroll up. We have them for the past few days now. We're going to start doing that a lot more, so if that's something you want to get into more and start analyzing a lot more, there you go. Let me pull this back over. But here on ZM today, we had above 362.30 for calls, below 357 for puts. Our 357 ended up holding, and the break above was alerted in chat today, above the 362.30. Very small scalp trade there, as you can see. Dylan, I think, ended only taking very, very small gains. If you end up taking a small loss on this, no biggie, but it ended up range trading as it broke out above our level into our first target. So nothing crazy on ZM besides that initial trade. But as you can see, we will be utilizing this range tomorrow for ZM. This will be a really, really good range to play break aboves or break belows tomorrow if pre-market isn't, gapped up or down too far. AMD we set above 109.15 for calls or below 107.15 for puts. Price ended up kind of range trading for the first hour or so in the market. Very hectic, very indecisive market today. And again, I'll cover that at the end of the video when I cover Nasdaq and SPY. But as you can see, very passive confirmation for a 40% entry under the break below to the first target, which was 106.25, and we had a 105.85. As you can see, both were hit within this other candle here. But in this chat, we like to take profits towards target. So if you end up taking profits a little early, it's okay. You don't need to be OCD, and that's why I said check those notes. It literally is, that's the whole point. Don't be OCD. It's okay if your price target doesn't hit to the exact cent. You are there to sell to the momentum of that contract. Okay, so as price reaches towards that target, you take profits, and then you go on to the next chart and focus on something else. But let's move on to the next one, though. As you can see, though, AMD kind of range traded the rest of the day. Boeing, very passive, 40% entry right out the gate this morning. End up holding under my 9 EMA. Staircase twice, ended up tanking down to our further targets. Didn't really have targets set on that, but we did watch this pretty heavily in stream, and it was alerted in chat. A lot of the time we do these, we end up alerting in both stream and in text in the trade floor most days, so definitely be around to catch those if you can. For Roblox, we said watch above 86s. 83.75 is a crucial control point, so watch this level for a decision above or below. And then we said also below 82. So why I said that is because on the daily time frame, this is a really big control point. It's the control point of this breakout up to the high of this move. So really, this is going to show us if this is a flag or not. Right now, it's still holding above my 9 EMA on the daily, so it's looking still good for continuation, but it did end up breaking that midpoint for good day trades today, so that's why I set that. Below 83.75, as you can see, it ended up holding under our level all the way through 83 and all the way through 82. So really, really big move today on Roblox to the downside, pretty much out of open to down to most of the day. It wasn't until just before power hour that price started rallying, so very awesome that ended up working out to our favor. CLF ended up taking this trade stream in stream live. I had to take this on the 5-minute. We ended up taking the first 10-minute candle out of open under the 9 EMA. We ended up having to hold a little bit longer, and we ended up taking profits towards 25. So very awesome trade. As you can see, ended up taking a little bit lower, where actually you'll see me mark the same pattern on Nasdaq later, but it had that same falling wedge look to it towards our last target before it ends up pushing up back above the 9 EMA and back up towards the pre-market area. Next watch was Facebook. Facebook ended up holding, let me delete that because it's just blinding. The break above for Facebook was 360. The break below was 357.75. As you can see, weakness and sellers under that level. Price ended up rallying back up above the 9 EMA, pushing above our lower high, and then back above the recent high of day right here. So back above our pre-market system, back above our BB system, back above our current high of day. Price ended up rallying back up, hitting our first target, pushed back down, gave us not only a 40% entry, but an 80% entry. Passive 80% entry above the 9 EMA close after the 80%, pushing up. First target, of course, needs to be that recent high of day. After that, you need to just ride the 9. Riding the 9 ended up helping out for most of the day. As you can see, you did have a couple of coughs there. So if you end up taking profits at any of those little coughs, definitely not a problem. No one goes broke taking profits. Roku, we said watching above 372.65 for calls or below the previous day low. As you can see, we just range traded the entire day, so we will be utilizing this range again for Roku. Not really surprised on that one either. They did just break out of a symmetrical squeeze, big red day, gap down, another red day, and then a low volume red day. So we will be looking around this low of day here and around this range here for a bigger break back up for either recovery back to the 90 EMA on the daily or for new lows to the downside. So if you see a tech rally, you might end up seeing Roku being a really good top watch. Speaking of tech, though, let's get into the overall market. So lately in the stream, we've been covering what shoulders we need to work towards, what we need to hold, what we need to push towards, all that good stuff. Price was giving us a lot of price info, just like on those other charts you were seeing me give, where they're just moving to the right, not a whole lot of movement, but we're getting a lot of info though. So prices moved down and held a. So we have our low here on this shoulder, and we have a higher low if this is where it's going to end up holding. So this is really really good for tech. And a lot of really cool things that are lining up too is that Apple is starting to look bullish. You have Microsoft starting to look bullish out of its bullish rectangle. Facebook has a good bullish continuation here. Tesla, and it goes on and on and on. Amazon is super low with a lot of topside value. Googs have a lot of good topside value. So all of these are starting to look good as the market is looking prepped to either make a new all-time high or a really good push towards all-time high that will give us a double top, and most likely people will liquidate and you'll get another retracement just like this little one you saw here the past few days or over this past week. But let's look at SPY and then I'll let you all go. As you can see, SPY ended up holding this 90 EMA the past 2 weeks and has actually been pushing up off the shoulder. The shoulders we were looking for retracement if price did drop was going to be this 43.75. The fact that price not only didn't have to retrace at all, but ended up pushing above this recent high right here is awesome. That's really good for bulls. But today, the low of day ended up pushing down and testing that exact level. So let's go check that out. So when price ended up dropping and holding the support, ended up rallying with a good bullish engulfing back above the 9 EMA and back above those common resistances. So that was the really big teller today. And of course, you can go back through the past watchlist reviews and kind of catch up on the other market overviews. But that's pretty much it. I like to go through the smaller time frames and the bigger time frames on those after I cover the day trading watchlist. But I'll see you guys on the next one, and thank you again.